What's up, gang, and aloha to everyone. Thank you for checking out our page. This is a continuation video from the last one. And if you haven't seen the last video, check the link above. You can see what we're talking about. But I said we're going to have a little Easter egg in the last video and we're going to review it. And that's what we're going to do today. A big shout out to my brother Nate, who is actually developing this product for what is already a great platform with the Electric Motion Escape R. Now, this bike is amazing as it is, but like anything else, Hawaii people, we always tend to take simple things and just make it, or good things, and just make it better, just to change it. And that's kind of how we like to do things. I mean, look at what we did with Spam. So if you don't know, check out that Spam Musubi, grab one of those, and stay tuned for the video. Aloha. All right, and look at what we have here. Oh my God, it looks like a Mandalorian helmet or something, right? But like I said, big shout out to my brother Nate. So what he is doing, this guy Nate, one of our local Escape owners, he's a bigger guy. This guy is, I want to say he's at least 6'2". He's a little bit over 200 pounds. And for the Escape, this is a relatively smaller bike. Now, he rides on it just fine, but what sometimes happens when you ride the Electric Motion Escape, the seat kit, and like I did a review on before, is way better than it was in the past. The seat is awesome. The way everything ties in together is pretty solid. But keep in mind now, this is a trials bike frame. And to answer a lot of questions I see on the forums, and like, why is the plastic design the way it is? Why this? Why that? Why isn't it more beefy? Why is there not a metal subframe? Now, I get it. Everybody wants out of the box the most solid thing possible. But let's not forget, Husqvarnas have composite subframes as well. Betas have composite subframes as well. So it's not uncommon for a company to use a composite subframe. Now, when you look at a trials bikes are very, very minimal. I mean, everything, in every aspect of the bike. I mean, it does. Some of them don't even have a seat, for God's sakes, But everything from Electric Motion and other companies, like say TRS, the trials bike frame is very minimal. And because it wasn't designed for you to sit on it, adding a seat is the next best thing, but we have to work with what we have. Okay? So keep in mind, if you loop this bike out, you might break this, right? We all know that. If you loop this bike out, you might break that. And it goes for every other company out there. It's just the way they designed it for a trials bike, and now we're adding a seat. Okay. So if you've seen on another video, and you can check the link above for that video too, on how we just took a little extra precautions, and what we did was we put an aluminum plate here, and we rivet it to the plastic. And now what this does is it holds this bottom plate here and this top plastic cover here together. It just simply redirects more of the energy from sitting and bouncing up here to this screw, keeping this a lot stiffer, making all the force come down and not breaking or buckling the plastic maybe about here, where I've seen and I've actually done on my 2020 model. This is not uncommon, right? However, for a trials bike, thing is, you mostly are standing up. And even by doing this, sometimes the best we can do is this plastic here tends to bowl. Now there are screws. If you're an owner already, you know what I'm talking about. There's screws here, here, and here that hold this bottom plate to this plastic, and that's what keeps it together. Now, when you put an excessive, and I mean excessive, amount of force on the rear of the bike, what happens is that plastic piece, because we have this and now it's stiffer, this plastic seems to bow a little bit. And if you can see how it just bows out a little bit. Yeah, this is, I mean, this is kind of inevitable. The way it's designed, like I said, wasn't made for sitting primarily. And if you sit here, no problem. You sit here, all the weight is going straight down to this mount, and where this structurally is sound. If you sit here all the time, there's no problem. The problem comes when you're trying to get over a root, or you're in a rut, or you're trying to get up a hill. And naturally, as you know, trail riders, what we want to do is we want to seat bounce the back just to get some traction, and give it some throttle, and we'll get out of where we need to go. And that's where we find some issues. If you sit back here and you put the pressure on this back tailpiece, basically this section of the bike, if you put your weight here at one time and excessively, this will happen. And it's just something that comes with the territory of riding. You know, everybody has a different style. You know, if we were all Graham Jarvis, we would never have to seat bounce. You know, we could just balance on our pegs, weight the pegs, and get out. If we were any other trials rider, we could do that. I mean, look at what, like, you know, Tony Bow or anybody of those guys, look at what they do without a seat. You know, they can get out of any situation without a seat. But for us normal people, you know, that's what we like to do. What Nate has done is basically took the design and basically redesigned it in metal. Now this is not that thick. It's actually about 1/8 of an inch steel. And you might be saying to yourself, oh, steel, this thing is probably very heavy. And it is, for the size, it's actually not that bad. This thing weighs only about 4.5 pounds, which is pretty much the difference in my weight if I had a big dinner last night or if I had my morning coffee. So 4.5 pounds is not much. It looks bulky as hell, but it's really not. And it actually fits very well over that piece. And I will show you how this piece here deters any weight from getting to the frame itself. And more importantly, when you ride, you know, you're putting shock on it at one time. Now, if you're like me, and sometimes this bike ends up on its handlebars 180 over, you know, sometimes you loop the bike out trying to do something, and now this will definitely protect you from breaking this mid-trail and riding out with the seat and everything flapping all over the place. So let's get into that. Show you the procedure on how I install this, and you really get to see how it works. All right, so first things first, I remove the seat screw here, and this will detach the seat from the plate. Okay, we're gonna remove this. Take this off. Okay, next step, like you've seen many times before, and I say it gets a lot easier. We take off these 2 fasteners on each side. Now we're not gonna remove this plastic piece. This subframe literally slides right over it. So we're just gonna loosen it or take it out for now. All right, next thing we're gonna do is take off this top battery cover. Now we got all these bolts out and our pieces is somewhat loose, right? Now this is the tricky, but like I said before, a part that is tricky up front but gets a lot easier the more you do it. Now I'm going to take this frame and we're literally going to stick it right over right over our piece, and look how well that fits, guys. It's almost amazing. And keep in mind, these things are made by hand, you know, there's no press, there's no mold. Nate, the manufacturer, Nate, the designer of this piece, has an E-skate. So he has the piece, every subframe that he makes, he fits to his plastic. So he's not just pumping it out of a mold, you know what I mean? He ensures that everyone fits his personal bike prior to shipping it out. So you won't have a problem with the hole placement, you won't have a problem with the fit, you won't have a problem with scratching or just rubbing. too much in one area. Of course, you know, we all know how difficult it is to put this plastic on sometimes, and with this added piece, it's going to take a little bit of finesse to get it on as well. But once you get it on, there's really no reason to take it off unless you have to fix the bike. So take into consideration, this thing slips right on. Very good. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to me how this thing can be made by hand in a vise with a welder and a torch. And look at this. It sits a little bit above the plastics, but it mounts to the exact same points, and your force is distributed amongst this piece instead of your plastic. Now, that being said, you can already see how this is better. You know, by adding 4.5 pounds, this will dramatically increase the stability and the structure of this bike. Okay, so we're gonna get our little my little tool here to get those holes lined up, get the planets aligned. And then what Nate also does is he supplies 4 of these longer bolts, because it's gonna be a little bit longer to stick out. The standard bolts that you get won't fit, so he went ahead and sourced these flange bolts that are exactly the same size and style as your original electric motion bolt, and this will fit right in. So a longer bolt goes through, holds everything together. Personally, I suggest you do the bottom first for both sides, get a pivot going, and then we focus on the top, line that up, shove these things right through. And like you've seen in the other videos, in many past videos, this is the tricky part. So let's fast forward this thing and just get it on. All right, so now we got everything in. Now we can just tighten everything up. But look how good it fits. This is amazing. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the cover back on. We're gonna put the seat back on, and you'll see how effortlessly they tie together. Okay, so another added benefit to this is this hole right here. Now we have a little tab that I have these mounting brackets here that were built into the metal subframe. Now this thing is way easier to lift. Once again, big shout out to Nate for actually coming up with this. You know, he said he was having something developed, and I didn't really understand what he had in mind. And then when he showed me this, I was kind of blown away. Now, for you guys out there with the E-Pure race, and you say, hey, you want something stiffer, you want this, you want that. I mean, technically, you can put this on an E-Pure race as well. If you're tired of, or if you're scared of flipping the bike out and potentially having all the pressure land here, potentially cracking this piece, I mean, you could simply add one of those. You know, it's gonna look a little different. It's not gonna look as, how you would say, sleek as the bike looks without it. But I mean, if you consider how much this piece costs, this top piece alone is easy $100 retail to get a new one. And as you guys know, or maybe you have found out already, Electric Motion currently doesn't sell a piece with the replacement stickers on them already. They're just blank pieces. So, you know, if you do crack this, you have to buy an entire sticker kit, or have them custom made, or just rock the plastic straight black without anything on it, which is not that bad, but you know, it is what it is. Now with something like this, you know, you're already going for that black look, but you never have to worry about breaking the piece. You know, this gets dinged up, whatever, you can repaint it, no big deal. Yo guys, thanks once again for watching. Now please, if you like what you see, please subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please hit us up in the comments box. And thanks to all those guys who actually commented on my last video when I mentioned the little Easter egg, you know, finding. So Mark Hollingsworth, thank you. Arvo Schultz, always a pleasure, man, when you talking story with you. And Daryl and this guy from Nice Bikes. Yeah, thanks for commenting. Yeah, like, I mean, we at Carwheeler Motors want to be the forefront of just new things, you know, how to fix these things, how to get you back on the trail, because it's such a small market right now for electric bikes, especially for electric motion bikes. And we all know, I know all too well, the pains of trying to figure things out, and I really want to help you guys, you know, get back to riding quicker, and maybe just help support the community of electric motion riders out there to figure things out. Check the Facebook page out. That thing is awesome. Everybody's asking really good questions. But let's not get away from what the video is about for the subframe. And if you're interested in picking up one of these awesome subframe attachments for your Escape, Escape R, EPR, light, race, sport, any electric motion model, if you're interested in picking up this accessory, hit Brother Nate up at Nate, or get informed by Nate at gmail.com. I'll also leave it in the section below that you can reference. But yeah, get in touch with him and we can ship this thing out to you pretty much anywhere. Of course, all you people in Europe, we can get it out to you, but it might be a little expensive. With that being said, thank you very much. Ride safe, people. I'm gonna try this out, and I will also have a review video coming up, but it's pretty much just gonna be me bouncing on it all over the place, trying to break it, which I really doubt I'm gonna do. There's no way I'm gonna break this thing. Okay, thanks guys. Till next time, ride with Aloha. Take care.